means no podcasts for the rest of your days.
It's our problem-free
podcast. I really should have.
Should have briefed me on this.
Yeah,
before
probably
we
should have told you
started.
which parts we were switching with podcast.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, boy.
It
Oh,
worked.
jeez,
Oh,
Rick.
whatever.
All right, welcome back to the Disney Desk, everyone. Carter again.
And Sydney.
So, if you're wondering what clumsy, sloppy transition I created for this episode, best supporting characters, the sidekicks. Disney is nothing if not defined by all of its wacky sidekicks of various use and value.
Yes, we previously talked about the ones we hate the most.
Yeah,
the
ones
ones
we
that
felt
serve the
helped nothing.
most minimal purposes of all time. But now we want to talk about the ones that are actually really great and useful in their movies.
Oh, yeah. And so before we begin, what's your criteria for this?
For me personally, I think the best supporting characters are ones that not only help the story continue, and that I also want them to be kind of funny, but also contribute the most to the main character and whatever sort of goal the main character is trying to achieve. How the most helpful to the protagonist.
Yeah, I guess I can pretty much get behind every bit of that, especially with that last bit, because it is a sidekick after all.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'm willing to sacrifice comedy, though, sometimes if it means more practical plot use.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
So the first one that I want to start with is Scuttle from The Little Mermaid. I don't think we really think about Scuttle a lot, but for some reason, when I thought of this idea for this topic, he was like the first thing that came to my head.
Which was an interesting one. I would not have thought of that.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought of him. I always sing his like part when I hear "Kiss the Girl" because you remember how he like sings all like off key.
Yeah.
I just like to be the one that loudly like sings that part, even though it's not really like in the song. Like if you listen to it on like Spotify or something, you won't hear Scuttle's voice, but I like to just like throw it in there, even though no one asked me to. But I think right from the beginning of this movie, he's like very helpful. I mean, like he is Ariel's like teacher, and we don't even know if Ariel or these mermaids are of any sort of schooling of any kind. I mean, I suppose
except singing classes,
sort of
I guess.
do. Oh, right, except for their talent classes and their singing classes. But she is going to the surface to figure out everything, pretty much everything that she knows about everything, even though all of his information is completely misinformed about like what a damn fork is, or like or this pipe, this like tobacco pipe. But, like, he feeds her imagination and gives her some frame of reference for this world that she wants to know more about. And then, also, he comes in handy again when she does make it to the surface and gets herself into this mess.
Hi, Jinx.
Yeah, he successfully ruins a wedding when Prince Eric falls under Ursula's spell and is about to marry Vanessa, a.k.a. the most 90s name they could ever give anybody.
Yeah,
which I was
especially for someone set in, like, what, the 1500s?
That's what I'm trying to say. It was like, what do you mean, Vanessa? Like, I don't get it. They not only did they give her... Like, this is just incorrect. Like, side note, they gave her the most, like, dated name ever, but also, like, they gave her the villain name. Like, they might as well have named her Amber or some crap. Like, you know, like, they gave her, the, like this bad girl kind of, like, name that, like, that villain girls get. Yeah.
Like, if
Vanessa, get out of here with that.
If Veronica from Archie wasn't named Veronica, what else would she be?
Exactly, Vanessa. But anyway, okay, I have a cousin named Vanessa, but, like, I digress. Anyway. So they gave her, this weirdo name. Anyway, he's about to marry her, even though that's Ursula, and, you know, she casts a spell on him. They're about to just get married on the fly, who knows. But he just was like, okay, leave it to me. And she doesn't even have any way to communicate this to him. He just kind of connects the dots. Oh, he's the one that warns her. She doesn't even know that they're getting married. I just realized that.
Yeah.
She's not even aware that this wedding is going on. In her mind, she's just like, you know, waking up in the castle another day. She wants to go hang out with her little prince friend. And here they are.
Sidebar. So once he gets married, what is he going to do with Ariel? Is he just going to kick her out?
I suppose, yeah. I have no idea.
Zoinks.
I don't know how this is going to work. But he doesn't even really know what he's doing. So who knows where this is going to lead. That's a good question. Like, what are these going to do? Like, I mean, is Ursula going to have to, like, recharge that spell? Like, is she gonna have to keep taking Ariel's voice, like, or like sourcing it from the shell to like keep like
I have
casting
no
the
idea.
spell on him so that it works for years, so that will just be their entire marriage?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Anywho, Scuttle just hijacks the ship and destroys a wedding with like dolphins and seals and the whole bit, and that is just amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible to me.
Even if his help isn't the most practical, he's one of the most well-meaning
Effective.
of Disney.
Yeah,
characters.
yeah, I think so.
I could get behind that.
Yeah, so I chose Scuttle.
For me, this was not who I expected to come up when I first started thinking about this, but the one that really struck a chord with me, Penelope from Wreck-It Ralph.
She's a cool little character.
Yeah.
She's funny. They gave
Yeah.
her some of like the funniest lines.
One, she's really fun.
Yeah,
2, she's integral to the plot in the sense that
right.
her relationship with Ralph is how he develops and like learns how to be a hero, like how to like himself,
Right.
while also she has a
And
similar
she has
problem
her
of
own
identity.
cool story. Yeah.
Like she has her own like really complicated but interesting lore
Right.
that adds to the whole like concept of a real world arcade where it's
Mhm.
like, oh, she's been like hacked out of the game, so she doesn't quite
Right.
exist, and she's like in a weird like middle
She's a
ground.
bug. She's
yeah,
a glitch. Yeah.
she becomes a bug. And on that note, I love her power set. Like I love how basically she has this really unique, useful power that no one
Mhm.
else has that comes in handy during the plot. She gets a really cool action scene.
Yeah.
She gets some of the most like she gets one of the most emotionally devastating moments in any Disney film where
Yeah.
Ralph just like silently destroys this like, you know, this little passion project they'd been working on together
Yeah.
that helped them bond and respect each other. Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
just in general, I really like Disney other than the princess movies, the thing they do really well is like buddy team up movies.
Yeah.
This, Emperor's New Groove, and Zootopia, like all of them just they do such a great job of having two people doing that. We hate each other. Oh wait, we've gone through some things, and now I respect
Now
your
we're
point
friends.
of view.
Right.
And this is one of the best examples of that.
Yes.
Also, I love how she just low key becomes a Disney princess, and then
Yes.
that joke at the end where she's threatening to execute them all is priceless. Yeah, yeah. She's just in
Great.
terms of what we need from supporting characters, complete package.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, next on my personal list for best supporting characters is Grandma Tala from Moana. She is probably my favorite character in Moana. I just think she's so endearing and just so charming and funny and kind of careless. I mean, like she knows what needs to be done and really doesn't have any doubt in her mind that Moana is going to carry it out with it.
Yeah.
Even though Moana's kind of fighting it and the dad is having no part of this.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
she's
the only one
she's
taking
like, yeah,
this
yeah, you'll do
seriously.
it. Right, exactly.
But at the same time, she's a goofball.
I just think she's funny, and I love the Village Crazy Lady bit. There's actually a song on the Moana soundtrack named Village Crazy Lady, but I just love how at this stage in her life, like she knows that it's coming to a close, and so like these simple things like dancing with the stingrays are just like what's important to her. And then
didn't think
and then
about
the
it
big
that way.
stingray that
Ugh,
at the
that
end, this like
breaks
glittery
me, like ceramic.
stingray that like comes out of the ocean, like that. Oh my god, I just can't even deal with that. But anyway, and then when she comes back as a spirit
Yeah.
to talk to her,
Well, and I
guides
love,
her through the entire thing.
I love how honest she is too. Of like, you know, I'm sorry, I did put a lot on you here.
Right,
And
and
I
was like,
believed
"Yo,
in
you want to
you.
quit?
Yeah.
Fine, you can
If
go back if you
I
want."
believed in you, but at the same time, this was a lot, and if you don't
For a
think you can
kid.
do it, that's okay.
Exactly. That she is like one of the coolest mom figures that ever. And Moana's actual mother. Like they're both really encouraging, really supportive and nurturing characters.
Mm-hmm.
But I just adore Grandma Tala, and I just think she's so important, and I'm in love with her.
Yeah, no, just a great character. I didn't even think about the idea of like, oh, she's just enjoying the little things in life because she doesn't have
Right.
a lot of time left.
Yeah.
And that just adds a whole nother layer to it that I really love.
Yeah.
Then my next one, my next two are kind of like, I don't know, sort of old school ones for me. First one is Blue. I've mentioned I love the Jungle Book. I was obsessed with the Jungle Book. I just think Blue's the coolest damn character.
He is.
Like, if he's not, if like both of his voices are cool. In the animated one, he has this really cool like low sort of beatnik vibe. Like of the whole jazz. He brings the whole jazz club aesthetic together by being just this groovy, carefree dude.
Just in everything that he does is jazz. He's like the Thomas O'Malley from like the Aristocats type. Like just like I don't know, I have a care in the world. This is I'm just a bear. This is what I do.
Yeah, and then the live action one, he gets Bill Murray's voice, so he keeps the coolness level, just a different kind of coolness.
Right. Yes.
I just love. I think he's funny. I think he plays, even though we should be rooting against him because we want oh my god, am I forgetting his name? Mowgli. Mowgli. For some reason I thought it was Mogwai, and I'm like, no, that's the gremlin thing, Carter. Even though you want him to get out of the jungle because it's a danger, he makes it seem so, like, he's like, man, don't even worry about it. It's a big jungle. Right. It's cool. Yeah. Like, like,
even though in relation he's a whole bear. I mean,
even though he's an actual like grizzly bear.
Right.
Like, no, I just appreciate him in this movie because he does, like, with all these high stake things, he just makes you appreciate the little things.
Right.
It's like Grandma Tyler. It's like, man, just relax. Not everything's life and death. Just enjoy the moment. Live in the moment.
Yeah.
And I like how he gets a little mini arc of letting go where he's like, yeah, I have, I just made this great friend and I'm going to have to give him up because he doesn't, he needs to, move on and be with, like, be somewhere where he can be safe.
Right. What I love about Baloo is, like, those few moments where he actually puts his foot down. Yeah. And he becomes this, like, father figure. And he, like, he has these moments of, like, getting serious and actually protecting this child as if it were, like, really his own.
He is, like, the cool dad because it's, like, he can be responsible when he needs to.
Exactly.
And, like, you have some great moments with that because it also reminds you, oh, yeah, he's a bear.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, when he gets in a fight, and especially in the live action version where they really lean into the fact that these are animals above all else, and you have these, like, big smackdown brawls where they're fighting. Like, that fight where he just runs in to protect him, I'm like, man, this is such a cool moment. Mm-hmm. Like, God, I want to do a whole episode just about that live action Jungle Book. Because, God damn, I love that. But, yeah, and I also like that, like, I don't know. Like, obviously, the ending of the live-action movie and the ending of the animated one are radically different, where in the animated one, he leaves to join the village, and in the live-action one, he decides to stay. And yet, in both of them, I feel like Baloo grows and learns a lot, where, he learns to actually care about Mowgli and sort of grows up to be a more responsible, like, sort of lean more into that responsibility.
Right.
Where it's not all just laid-back fun.
Right.
And, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention he has one of the 5 or 6 greatest songs in all of Disney canon. Mm-hmm. Like, and just such a visually awesome moment, too, of just floating down the river. Just, like, again, we talk about Disney magic. Just that sort of, like, fun, carefree moment between two characters we love.
Yeah.
Like, of all of, like, the fun songs Disney has, or all of, like, the just chill moments, that has to be the best.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we have Genie, who...
We had to put this in here.
I feel like we're obligated to.
We couldn't really talk about this without mentioning Genie. I certainly couldn't have mentioned, like, a Scuttle without mentioning Genie.
Like, again, these are our personal lists. Like, we've decided which ones we wanted to put on.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like when it comes to Disney, certain characters are so canonized, you feel required.
To mention them.
Yeah.
So we put him in here, and I guess for obvious reasons, he's extremely helpful. I mean, he pretty much, orchestrates this entire fabricated facade for Prince Ali. And it works.
And in terms of the narrative hook of him switching owners is one of my favorite things in Disney, just because, like, it really did, like...
What I love about him is that he's now owned by this villain and still doesn't really lose his sense of humor, or, like... Yeah. He's actually still the same dude, and also all the same rules still apply. Like, he's still the same Genie.
Yeah, even though, he's clearly feeling bad and in despair, like, he still can make quips and stuff.
Right.
Like, in that initial look he gets, like, because when Jafar gets the lamp and opens it, Genie comes out assuming it's so Aladdin. He's like, all right, you a-hole, I'm going to
Right,
talk to Jem. And then
exactly.
just that look of horror when he's like, oh no,
Ooh.
I'm in trouble.
That's funny.
Yeah, and again, just another great relationship between the main character and the supporting character.
Right.
Where both of them, like, Aladdin's character growth is exclusively built around this lamp because he thinks
Pretty much.
he doesn't like him, he doesn't respect himself, he doesn't see himself as worthy. So as a result, he drags down this other character with him, and then finally
Pretty
learns,
much.
no, I respect myself, and now I'm going to do the right thing and give up this crutch I have. Yeah. And again, it's another one where the multiple adaptations have been good. You know, the animated one, Robin Williams obviously made one of the most iconic Disney characters.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think Genie we would even be
We
really
would
talking
care.
about Genie
Oh yeah.
if
No, I
if
agree.
not for Robin Williams.
Like an actor talented enough where he can literally just vamp, and the animators will be like, "Hey man, it's fine. We'll draw around you."
Right, exactly.
On Broadway, James Monroe, Englehart. I got to see his
I like
very
that
last
guy.
performance
Oh,
as
yeah?
Genie. Yeah, it was a
I
rush
didn't know
ticket.
that.
Obstructed view, totally worth it because I'm like, man, I don't care if I can't quite see parts of the stage. I want to be a part of history.
Wow.
I can only describe, like, it's hard to describe the electricity that runs through the room the minute he starts Friend Like Me. Because he starts with a little, like, vamp, like, skadada-ba-ba, skidadoo. And literally just the energy that reverberates through the room when it's like, oh my god,
realize
he
what's
is,
about to
yeah,
happen.
he's
Yeah.
about to put on a show. He almost accidentally fell, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was they had these little rubber circle things on the ground for a previous bit, and one of them didn't get all the way off stage. So when he's
Oh.
doing his dance, I guess he didn't see it. He slips, but manages to keep
Whoa.
upright. He does a little laugh and keeps going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, and like the guy wears his heart on his sleeve, and you can tell he just loves every minute of it, and
Oh,
he's
wow.
just so damn good in the role.
I've
And-
also seen I've seen a lot of videos about people talking about like who work in the theme parks and everything.
Yeah.
And they talk about like the live shows that they put, like the Aladdin shows, and how
Oh yeah, that's a big one, right?
the Genie characters, like there's always some sort of pop culture joke, like they update Genie for
Yeah.
like the times, like,
Yeah.
and he's still like relevant, and that makes him exciting for each
Yeah.
audience
Oh,
as they're
yeah.
coming in.
And if you were going to pick a character for the live action film that could replace Robin Williams, I'm hard pressed to think of someone who would be more qualified than Will Smith, a man whose career has been nothing but raw charisma.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I that's, that you mentioned Will Smith, because he's been in so much like heavy action. I would like love to get like just like some pure comedy out of him. Like,
Yeah,
again,
I'm
you
like,
know what I
it's
mean?
long because he's funny. Above
He
all, he's just
is.
charming and funny.
Yeah.
You meet him in person and he just makes you smile. So
Right,
it's so weird that he's in all
exactly.
of these like action years or like
Heavy-
serious dramas.
Yeah,
So again, the basically the premium Disney supporting character.
definitely.
My next one is actually a surprising one. Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh was another one of my things growing up, and I just
Yeah, me too. Heavy.
yeah, heavy.
Heavy.
Like to the point where I don't want them to make a live action one of that, because for me,
Nope.
it fills that space of like Calvin and Hobbes and the Peanuts, where it's like you can't afford to make a bad version of this.
Right.
Like
No,
everything,
no.
you
You'll
can't settle
ruin
for good. Yeah,
everything.
it needs to be classic. Each edition needs to be like a classic.
Right. No, I don't want this to ever be touched. Ever.
I just love him because he's such a foil. Like, even though he's good friends with Pooh, he's such a foil in terms of personality type.
Yeah.
Because Pooh's whole thing is being a lazy bear who just does nothing
Right.
but eat.
Who's just concerned about his honey.
Yeah,
for the time
whereas
being.
Tigger's entire personality is being the most energetic guy in the room and driving everyone crazy by
Exactly.
being bouncy
Pretty
and
much.
fun.
Yeah.
I love his design. I love the idea of just tiger but with bouncy tail.
Right, with like some sort of spring-loaded tail somehow, even though that has nothing to do with being a tiger.
It does
At
not,
all.
but I love it anyway.
Yeah.
I love his sort of like, he almost has a voice like Sylvester the Cat from Looney Tunes, where it's like slightly lispy
slur,
but
yeah.
like enthusiastic.
You could imagine a lot
but,
of
like a
spit
happy
involved.
version of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
I love how he revels in being the only one, because it's like I'm unique. It doesn't have to be
Except
sad.
for that time
It
where
means-
he
that
wasn't,
movie,
but we don't
yeah.
want to talk about that.
Yeah, that movie was a straight to DVD
No.
one. That's not
Nope,
canon.
nope, nope,
None
nope,
of that was
nope.
canon. Yeah, I love where it's like, it doesn't have to be a sad thing. It can be a cool thing because you're
Right.
unique.
Exactly.
I love his, again, I just like the color scheme. He's just a fun character.
Right.
I don't really
One
have
of
any
the
sophisticated
also-
comments.
What? Right. I mean, he doesn't
He's
really
just a
need
pure
one.
joy.
One of, I mean, Tigger and Pooh have the most iconic voices ever that like you don't even need to see like,
Yeah,
like
honestly,
just hearing
if-
this you know exactly
like
what this
yeah,
is.
in the
Voiced,
terms of Disney characters, they have to be in the top 10 of like instant.
instant, right?
like-
that was also what I mentioned earlier
Like
about
other than
colors.
like Goofy, Donald, and Mickey.
Right, but like also like on the topic of iconic colors when we talked
Yeah.
about how all you have to like for Beauty and the Beast, if you just see the yellow and that
Gold.
blue,
Or
yeah,
the gold and the
like
blue.
you know that's Beauty and the Beast for like that flat orange and that red like that
Yeah.
for like that like
that like t-shirt red and gold.
yes, like you
and the
know
red, orange, and black
exactly what that
immediately.
is. Yeah,
Like
don't
I
need
think of
any other
Tigger before I think of
reference.
Tiger for orange and black.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, but those voices, just like, cause the voice of Pooh, I mean, I watch a lot of like old westerns with my mom, and like,
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is, but he was in a lot of those like old western shows like Bonanza and The Rifleman and like those old like black and white like TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's actually that man's speaking voice is actually,
Really?
yeah, like that's his voice.
God, what a life that has
I
to be.
know, yeah. I know what the man who played Tigger looks like. Can't remember his name, but now Jim Cummings, who is in every Disney movie ever. I mean,
Basically.
he's he was Ray the Firefly in Princess and the Frog. He was Chief Powhatan in Pocahontas. He now voices both Pooh and Tigger.
Really?
In
Aw,
everything.
that's so cute.
Yeah, he's Pooh and Tigger in all of the most recent voicings because
Yeah.
occasionally the Disney Channel and like the preschool Disney Channel will like revamp Winnie the Pooh. They've had like I want to say 3 different Winnie the Pooh series. Do you remember that Muppet? It wasn't really Muppets, but it was like those puppet.
Puppities.
Those like
Oh,
that
I
puppet
remember that.
Pooh
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, and then after that they had the like the Winnie the Pooh and like the sleuth. Like remember when they were like solving mysteries with that girl?
Oh God, I
She
forgot
had like
about
the red
that.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the most recent Winnie the Pooh show. That went off in like I want to say 2010 was like
Yeah.
the last time that was airing, but that was all Jim Cummings. But yeah, Tigger is just iconic.
Yeah. And then our final edition, you added this one, a little unexpected.
But totally makes sense, and we couldn't do this without mentioning Kronk.
Yeah. I guess he technically falls partially under the evil minion category as well. But honestly, he doesn't do that much evil, so I feel like we can get
No.
away with this.
Right.
Like, he's just hilarious.
He needs to be here. Yes.
He's just, in terms of comedy, he might be pound for pound in the top 2 or 3.
Right. Yeah.
Because, just like,
Iconic.
a part of it's the voice. A part of it's that voice.
What's his name? Patrick? I forget.
Patrick's
Oh, he's got a thick last name, and I don't
Yeah.
remember what it is.
with 2 C's.
Yeah. Yeah, his last name, but it's Patrick something, from Family Guy and all the
Yeah.
other. He's in every animated.
Yeah.
For a while, DreamWorks was putting him in
Everything.
movie.
He was in the B
And I was like,
movie
when are they
as the
gonna
evil
stop?
husband for some
Oh,
reason.
was he?
Because that movie was about a romance between a woman and a bee.
Right, yeah, they're there. But he, what was that movie? Open Season.
Over the Hedge, Open Season.
All of them. Like for a while, DreamWorks was just like be in every single movie we make, like
Yeah.
and use this same exact voice in the same exact context, playing almost the same exact characters over and
Basically,
over and
yeah.
over again. And we didn't ask any questions about this. Like this is just what he is. Like
This
here
is
we
just
go.
our world.
Yeah, and playing Joe in Family Guy. Yeah, we don't need him to be anything else. Like this is just he's one of the few voice actors that has an entire career built on a voice, just one voice.
And a great voice.
And it's an amazing voice.
It just
yeah.
makes every delivery priceless.
Yes, it's a great voice.
And then again, it's partially the animation. The animation of him and
Kronk.
the evil, his
Yzma?
yeah, Yzma. Just just the way they characterize them through their motions
Right,
is
yeah.
awesome. And my favorite line of his is probably, "Oh, who would have guessed that trap door would lead me exactly out here?" It's just great. Like
I just love when he's like sneaking through the town at night and like he's just like humming his own like spy music. Like
Yeah.
do you remember
stuff like that.
That's just classic. That's ridiculous. Like these jokes are funny. Like I can't get over it.
Yeah, no, and again, that's not one we need to elaborate too much on. I feel
No,
like. It's
that
just a
speaks for
funny
itself.
character.
Yeah,
That's just pure comedy.
pretty much.
Yeah, I think the moral of the story here is, it's okay. You don't have to be the lead all the time. Sometimes
No.
your sidekick, sometimes being right there for your best friend makes you just
It's
as
all that
iconic.
matters.
Yeah. Whether you're squawking during a romantic song or
Right.
breaking the laws of quantum physics in space by teleporting or turning into a stingray or floating down a river or vamping and doing shtick or bouncing around in a physically impossible scenario or just being a goof, you know?
Or all of the above.
You'll be remembered as well.
Exactly. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Disney Desk. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and thumbs up this video. For more content, be sure to check out our Tumblr and look for us on Facebook. Have a magical day.